Yes, here we are once again. If you're seeing us and looking at us live, it of course means it's Wednesday at noon Eastern time, which is always time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, you can watch us live at that time or later, whenever. You can watch us 4 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. It doesn't matter. You can do that, of course, on Facebook at Temptations Beach, at Temptations on Twitter, and of course the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel as well. We have the chat areas and all that stuff there during the live show. The podcast, of course, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Podbean. Just search the High Noon Hemp Show, and you will find us in audio form. I am Stoner Jesus. He is Beach, high above the Temptations in Sharonville, Ohio, the Hemp Quarters, if you will. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Temptations?
Good, good. Yeah, we're back. It's going to be a good show. We missed last week. Sorry about that, folks. Just, had some stuff going on. I decided to take the day off. So,
Hey.
Was what it was, but we're back. Here we are. And remember, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy,
That's
just
right.
so you know. So not really hemp related, but I have to show this. We golf in a league on Tuesday nights. Now I do have a hemp golf towel. I do have hemp tees, and I yet again forgot to film like a slow motion with me teeing off with a hemp tee. But anyway, after we get done, we're hanging out in the parking lot with everybody that's in this league, and I look in. And this is the person that actually hosts the league. I look in the back of their car, and they're like, "This is the license plate that they had in the back of their car." And I'm like, "Was
Nice.
that really your license plate?" And they were like, "Yeah." And they understood the 420, but I was like, "Burned 420." That's like in the cannabis world, and they just had it by accident. This was nobody's like, if I tried to get this in Ohio, they probably wouldn't allow me to have it because they look at 420 as a drug reference. They had this plate
Yeah,
by accident. and
crazy.
and her husband was like, "Yeah, I always looked at it as brown 420." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" They had no clue. I just thought it was hilarious. They had
Wow.
no clue. I did everything that I could to try to get them to donate. I was like, "Man, I'll hang that up in the stores." Our employees would love that, and they would get it right. I mean, they would see it as burn 420 all day long, with no question. So
Wow.
anyway, I just thought, as far as random 420 stuff goes, that's as random as you get. And the fact that Indiana issued a license plate BR 420 by just
Yeah.
randomly. Anyway, so all right, a little bit of fun to start the show, non-hemp related, more or less. Although you can celebrate 420 now with hemp. If you want to go smoke your CBD or your CBG or your Delta 8, uh, you can do that for 420. So it is kind of hemp related, I guess. Now everyone can celebrate 420, the hemp and cannabis slash marijuana, as they call it in the streets world. But that's not what we're here about here on the High Noon Hemp Show. I am high above the Sharonville location, and we are ready for the product spotlight. Let's get this thing rolling. We got some fun news coming up, no doubt about that. The first product are the wild hemp wraps. This is probably our best deal, without a doubt. 4 wraps for 99 cents. You can't beat it. So when you're celebrating 420 with your CBD, CBG, or Delta 8 flower, boom, you can roll it up in some wild hemp wraps. Get crazy with it. If you really want to get crazy with it, I would recommend the Space Gods Delta 9 gummies. These are becoming super popular. We have them in a little pack. It's like a 2-pack, I think, and then there's a bigger package. And again, I want to repeat, these are Delta 9, totally legal, 100% extracted from industrial hemp. Um, no medical card or special license required to purchase. Just come on in and try them. With anything like this, industrial hemp, these new industrial hemp cannabinoids and extracts and whatnot that we're finding we can do. Um, you know, try them at home first, or don't drive. See how your system takes it. These are, these are doing something. They have side effects, so to speak. Again, 100% legal. But we like to let all our employees know, or all our customers know. Um, some of this stuff, it's not CBD. It's kind of funny because now we have to kind of go backwards with what we are telling people because they're so expected with the CBD and not having to worry about side effects or anything like that. Now we have Delta 9 and Delta 8 and Delta 10 and these things, HHC. They have a little bit of a side effect. So be smart about it if you're trying it for the first time or not really sure one way or another. But if you're just looking for some CBD and you want to drink it, how about some hemp tea? We have a full line of hemp tea choices, ranging, I think they, range in CBD content from about 15 to 25. So
Hmm.
you can kind of choose how much CBD you want with the tea. And then, of course, they also have different flavor breakdowns, um, depending on what you may or may not be thirsty for. So just depends on what you're looking. Uh, I think it's kind of interesting. I think that the rest in the cruise should be reversed because I feel like 15 milligrams of CBD is more to cruise on, and 25 milligrams of CBD is better to rest on. You choose
There you go.
one way or another. Um, and the one, oh no, they're not one from my door. The last one in the product spotlight from the stores are the raw rolling machines. We love raw. All their papers. I'm pretty sure all raw papers are hemp. Always have been. And then, of course, they do a lot of stuff with composites or have done stuff with composites over the years. And so this is actually made out of, these rolling machines are made out of hemp composite. Um, and so, when you're done with it or, whatever, you can literally bury it in the backyard and eventually it will decompose and do no harm to the planet. I mean, I guess you can feel good about throwing it in the trash because it'll just go to the landfill
Yeah.
and decompose there one way or another. So definitely a great way to roll your CBD flower one way or another. King size and regular 79 millimeter. I think the king size are 110 millimeter long for king size papers, and then the regular size is 79 millimeters, which is most average papers, I believe, one way or another. All right, now how about the one from my door? Breaking one out from long ago. This is my Hempstead computer bag. Um, decided to take my laptop home uh, last week actually, and so I broke this out. Again, this is just such a great laptop bag. Um, One way or another, it's got the two Velcro pockets in the front for whatever you want to put in there, and then you open it up and you can see inside. It's got pen, marker pouches, and then another little pouch for stuff. And again, this is classic. This computer bag is probably every bit of 20 years old. I would venture to say. It's kind of funny on the back. I noticed, and I'm not sure. I have to go back and look at it. Where the Hempstead patch is in the back, there's like a hole, like right off to the side. It's kind of interesting. It's like a perfect hole. I'll have to see what's going on there. It's not like anything's ripping or coming apart. None of the stitching. All those zippers work great. Again, it velcros in the front. It's got a big zipper pouch in the back. Right above that logo, basically, there's a big zipper pouch back in the back. Um, Big pocket in the middle, obviously, for everything. Just a great, well-made bag back in the day. It'll last me a lifetime. I'll pass it on to the kids if they want it. If laptops still exist, I don't know if they will. Hopefully, I'm around long enough to maybe the laptop just disappears. I don't know what will happen. In my head, I just picture like no matter where you are, if you have a flat surface, you'll just have this little unit, and it'll pop a keyboard out on the table and a screen up, like a hologram screen, kind of. That's what they really probably have to work out, and eventually that's all it'll be. And I actually have and it's sitting right there. I haven't tried to use it recently, but I have a Bluetooth keyboard that does that very thing. It's just a little box, um, and it shoots the keyboard and red lights onto the table, and just you put your hands on there, and you can type on it. I never really got it to work really that well, but it was very old. I've had that thing for probably 10 years, so it's very old technology. I feel like one way or another. So anyway, non-hemp related, but I get sidetracked sometimes. So there you have it, folks, on the product spotlight. 4 from the store, 1 from my door here on the High Noon Hemp Show.
As always, we flow from that into the as of yet award-winning, still the greatest internet segment of all time, where fashion and hemp collide. You can see a little bit Beach rocking the black and the red. We'll see what the rest of Beach looks like. And we do that when I ask Beach this very important question. What are you wearing, Beach?
That's right. Maybe you're curious. Maybe you want to know, how can I dress from head to toe every day? Well, this is just one outfit, but today I am, we're starting the Bengal season here. We're all excited. It's going to be Bengal season officially real soon, but the Reds are still playing. Not well. Still pretty not well, but
You're still playing.
I am not a fair weather fan. And of course, if you look closely, we'll start from the top and we'll explain it all. On the lid there, I've got a grassroots Satori hat, with the cool print on it. I love that print. My T-shirt, if you look closely now, it does look, in fact, like it's Reds, but it's not. It says Heads, which is a club that I started, the Cincinnati Heads, probably about 10 years ago. It's a very exclusive club. All you have to do is have one of these shirts, and you're pretty much a member. It was once referred to as Cheds by a local TV celebrity. We were doing an interview here for movie breaks, and he pulls out a T-shirt, and he's like, "Oh, Cheds," like he knew what it was. And I was like, "Huh, Cheds? I've never heard that before." But that's kind of the slang term for this T-shirt around the shop. But it does say Heads. On the back, it says Hemptations with 420 on it. So, and then of course you got the 420 on the sleeves as well. So, but it fools a lot of people. I think a lot of people they just see it as a red shirt. It is not. So, anyway, on with the outfit. Got a pair of large shorts on, being held up by my Hempies belt. Look in the pocket there, you'll see my Green Springs Technology pen, which goes just about everywhere with me all the time as well. Underneath, you got some I Love Bad briefs with more Satori Canna no-show socks, and then protecting the old feet are a good old pair of Adidas. I call them the Rasta Adidas, and just because of the colors, obviously. I don't know what they were originally referred to as. They probably referred to them as that.
Yeah.
One way or another. So now you know, when I'm supporting the local baseball team and the Cincinnati Heads, that's what I'm wearing. Thank you very much. All right. I was waiting for applause. Let's get on with some news, some interesting news, all kinds of always good news, bad news. Not a whole lot of bad news this week, I don't think. It's pretty much good news. Here's the first good news: is there is now basically a certification for hemp to be regenerative agriculture. Okay, well, what they're calling this is land to market. One of the first companies is, and again, certification can be a good thing. It's what you have to have certified land or products to be organic, which I want these kind of protections. My understanding is the certification for this uh, land to market regenerative agriculture is kind of expensive. But you can put it on your label that you're guaranteeing that everything you do as far as growing or processing or any of that stuff is all on the planet's benefit, so to speak. um, and so if you don't know, other than when you're growing for the flower, which is obviously huge in the CBD slash marijuana world, you don't cannabis hemp does not require any herbicides or pesticides, so it's organic by nature for the most part. um, when you're growing for the fiber of the grain, you don't need those things. uh, Organic is a soil rating, and so your soil has to be certified organic for the grain. You don't need those things. Organic is a soil rating, and so your soil
That
has
was
to
weird.
be certified organic
What
for the
is
grain.
that?
You don't need those things.
What is that?
How does that working?
I don't know.
Um,
Something came up on Facebook, like the video itself came up on Facebook.
oh, I see. That was the
I
yeah,
have to-
because it's on a delay.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Too funny.
stop.
It's crazy. Um, so anyway, soil, organic is a soil rating. So obviously you have to grow in certified organic soil. And you can't use any herbicides or pesticides, or you wouldn't get that certification. Uh, and so, those, but they're not used on hemp for the most part. So, um, it's just the great, another great thing about growing for the fiber or the grain for the most part is you don't need any herbicides or pesticides. So, that's why it's so good. And I think it would be easy. Again, I think all you have to do is probably have your soil right certified, and then just certify you're growing hemp. You're not going to use any chemicals. Bam, that's what it is. Now it's awfully difficult in the CBD world, but for again fiber and grain should be super easy, really. Um, Article titled "Skip the Melatonin Hangover: 3 sleep aids to try instead." Number 3, which was really 3 and 4, was CBD or CBN, which I think is interesting that they just put or. You have to choose. Whereas ideally, you probably want CBD and CBN. Those two together in combination seem to be um, quite beneficial to our customers and those that are using it as a sleep aid. Um, the one CBD, the nighttime product that we actually have, they took, I think, the melatonin out. There's something about melatonin and daily use that I think everybody should look into, because I don't believe it's something that you should be on permanently. And I'm not positive on that. I'm not an herbalist or a naturalist. Um, but I do think you should look into, if you use melatonin on a semi-regular basis, look into whether that's deemed a good idea or not.
Yeah, I've seen
Um,
articles where that point out that some people's brains stop producing it on their own. So then
okay,
have you every night, and then you stop taking it, and then you have none at all, and you can't sleep because your body's not making it anymore.
right on, right on. Yeah. Now that's the difference, I suppose, with CBD and all the cannabinoids. We have a receptor system that's meant to take them in and
Right.
then use them. Our body doesn't naturally make those, but it will use those
Mhm.
beneficially through the cannabinoid receptor system, the CB1 and CB2 receptors. And so, yeah. And again, if you're really having some issues, or you're on that line, or I think the Delta 8 now, which I have been consuming a little bit before I go to bed just to kind of check it out. Man, I tell you, it gives me a good night's sleep, honestly. And so, we're breaking these cannabinoids down and all these isolates and whatnot. We're finding specifically what's better for nighttime and what's better for daytime. CBD is kind of both. Just really depends on your dose and how you want to use it, which is the good best thing about it. We're finding CBN's a little bit better for nighttime. We're finding CBG is a little bit better to be combined for your daytime benefits of CBD. So still working it all out because it's all still pretty new. Still pretty new. Here's a study of seizures in dogs, and it found positive results. What this is interesting. This is a quote. What was surprising was the low dose that is needed of our full spectrum product compared to CBD isolate used in human studies. Now, they didn't say in the article exactly how much CBD was used. We know because the FDA has only approved one true CBD drug, and that one is for seizures. And so we know that CBD works for seizures. Now, I don't. That is probably an isolate. That particular FDA approved CBD was probably just CBD, not a full spectrum. And again, we find with the full spectrum, which is a little bit of everything else, what they call the entourage effect, whereas all those other things kind of give that CBD a little boost. The isolate to me is for only people that are worried about having any THC in their system, because the full spectrum still has a little bit of THC. I think the only reason to use an isolate, in my opinion, is if that's what you're worried about, is having any THC in your system. If not, use a full spectrum product and know that 99.99% of all people are not going to take enough of a full spectrum CBD product to fail a drug test, a THC Delta 9 drug test. So, that is what it is. And another interesting, the article was about how to get rid of fleas. Okay. They had CBD on the list, but they really didn't say how it would help with the fleas. But they were quite adamant about saying how beneficial it is for dogs to have CBD, one way or another. Now, I think the hemp oil, seed oil, would be good for skin and healthy skin and whatnot. Maybe the CBD would help, with dealing with the fleas. Maybe it would help be calmer. I don't know, but I thought it was kind of funny how they had the list on there, and they didn't really say how it's good with fleas, but it was great for dogs to have, and all dogs should have CBD one way or another. And again, there's probably a purpose for CBD for all dogs. If you're leaving your dog alone, it's going to have anxiety, so you give them some then. Thunderstorms, whatever, works great for that. It's good for inflammation, just like in humans. And so older dogs, or dogs that are dealing with inflammation and pain, can help with them with that. And so that's what we're finding. And this is one more more and more proof that CBD is good for animals as well, one way or another. Oh, Kate Moss, she's launching her own CBD products. Just another big name that's used CBD over the years, and says it's helping her stay looking young and whatnot. These are cosmetic products, I believe, one way or another. So. And then on the opposite side of that, Hong Kong is expected to ban CBD. So Don't travel to Hong Kong with CBD. Not that I would recommend traveling anywhere out of the country with CBD,
Yeah.
because it will end up getting you in more trouble than you can ever believe possible, um, eh, by doing so. So don't do it. But again, I guess they're talking pretty heavily, and the rumor is that they're gonna, I don't, change the laws in Hong Kong to make CBD illegal, which is crazy because the original CBD came from China.
Mhm.
That's where we were getting CBD 10 years ago, way before. Well, 10 years ago wasn't way before it was legal, so it's probably been 12 years ago too. Um, that's where CBD was coming from. And again, it was extracted from the industrial hemp that they grow because China is the largest grower of uh, hemp for fiber. As far as the clothing and the materials go, about 60% of that's grown in China. And my understanding was is they were actually doing like a whole plant. And I'm guessing maybe just the top of the plant. They were pressing it, and whatever that oil was that was coming out of it, that's basically what they were considered CBD. Um, it was super expensive. We had customers that would come and buy it, and then we just exponentially watched the price come down. Uh, but yeah, so and now Hong Kong is expected to ban it. Weird, crazy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And we'll see if there's a public outcry. I would think that Hong Kong would want their citizens on CBD, and so they're calm and doing what they're told. Because that's how it works. Um, well, here's kind of cool, and I have seen macrame. I think we got a pic of some macrame. I don't know if I sent that over or not, but the article is like, is macrame decor coming back in style? I do believe that it is. Um, and this is a House Digest article, and then it goes on to say, in macrame, cotton cords, yarn, hemp, or jute are twisted and tied in a variety of knots to create intricate patterns. And, it's been around for a long time. It was big in the 70s. Honestly, there was a huge amount of macrame stuff. Seems like, and hemp is perfect. It is, again, the strongest natural fiber, and so it would be a good thing to see. But I do believe that macrame is going to make a little bit of a comeback. So we'll see. We'll see about that. And if it does, I hope more people use hemp, because that's what we're looking for in the world. Um, it was funny. These companies are about not only about buying less, but also buying better. And so there's this sustainable is really, the article is titled like, uh, why buy an $88 T-shirt? And this Young Maven tee, and again, we love Young Maven. Of course, these Young Maven tees, I think I got a picture. It's just a white tee, someone in a white Maven. Oh well, Young Maven tees are not that expensive, but they are a little bit expensive. And again, the argument is because these companies are, using sustainable materials, better, stronger materials, i.e., hemp as one. Um, to rationalize spending that much money on a shirt, which just seems crazy, is true. I think $50 for a T-shirt is kind of stretching it to begin with, but $88 for a T-shirt is really doing it. But it will, if you choose the hemp option. It should last you an entire lifetime. So that brings that cost down quite a bit, I would assume. Um, let's see here. Did I send the pavilion picture over?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. This pavilion is in Almere, Netherlands, and it's made with pink hemp. So, this is the Hempcrete. As you can see now, this is actually a horticulture garden. Okay, and the whole thing is kind of walled in, so you have to walk into it. As you can see, it's got an entrance there. And anyway, so but the walls basically on the outside, those pink walls, that pecan hempcrete is what they were using there. Again, because of its sustainability, because it's more natural. You know, I remember being in going through the. It'll be interesting to see if there's one growing there. But I remember going through like 15 years ago when I was in Amsterdam. We went through the horticulture um, museum, I guess you would call it. But again, it's all the plants and all this, and I'm just walking down the outdoor path, and all of a sudden there it is, cannabis sativa, and then underneath it, I think it actually said industrial hemp or hemp possibly, but there was a hemp plant, growing right in the middle of all the plants. Um, and so somewhere I have a picture of that. Where is that picture? That might take some research. I'll do my best to see if I can find it. But that was pretty cool. So it'd be really neat to see a hemp plant growing in here with all the flowers and plants that they have, just as a display. Is guess what? It is safe, and don't worry about it. the, the walls are made of this. You're good. Uh, so that's some fun hempcrete though. And again, I do believe you could conceivably dye hempcrete any color you wanted to. So if you wanted blue hempcrete walls, you could do that. You wanted green hempcrete walls, you could do that. I've seen a lot of reds and browns. This was the first pink that we've seen in the hempcrete world, and so I look forward to some more hempcrete projects that are actually dyed um, one way or another, different colors, wall colors, and whatnot. So that's kind of fun. I reported weeks ago on the proven calming effects on cows with CBD. What wasn't in that article that I just read about was the fact that they also have gone on basically to say that the cows can digest all of the parts of the hemp plant, and so adding hemp seed grain to their feed, we might be able to use hemp leaf. Go ahead and add hemp leaf, raw hemp leaf to their seed, or I don't know if I suppose you dry it and grind that up and then put it in their seed. But they could eat all of the anything that's scrap. Now I can't imagine the fiber that would do their systems very good. That big long fiber, but we did. There was the farmer in Thailand who fed his chickens cannabis leaf, and he was the most popular chicken seller at the market because of it. And so, once again, we're trying to get hemp grain as an official livestock feed. And I suppose the move on top of that is to get cannabis leaf, hemp leaves, as an official livestock feed, um, to be, thrown in with chicken feed or cows or whatever, and see what happens. I suppose, obviously they just need to make sure there's um, nothing bad that happens. And as we found with the goat food research, it has no ill effect on the goat meat when they are fed hemp. So no bad things happen. You know, Finding out probably the real benefits is still to come. Checking the nutritional value of an animal that was fed hemp grain as opposed to not hemp grain. I would love to see that. Being high in protein and all the omegas and all that thing, I think it would be a great food source and can only benefit the livestock in a more sustainable way as well, one way or another. It's not steroids or antibiotics or anything like that. Uh, you know, and I think the hemp would help make a healthy cow. If the CBD calms them down, hemp grain would make them healthier, protein and whatnot. And so, but we still got a way to go before we get anywhere with that. That's going to be the Department of Agriculture's job to approve hemp grain or hemp leaves as a livestock feed. But as much as I think I'd love to see hemp grain, I'd really love to see hemp leaves, because those are probably the most wasted byproduct of all cannabis. Well, whether you're growing for THC or you're growing for CBD or you're growing for fiber or you're growing for grain, nobody does anything with the leaves. You've got an outlet if you want to sell that stalk. Because even if you're growing for grain, then you've got fiber in that stalk. You've got the herd on the what we use for the hempcrete. That's a byproduct someone can use. Right now there's no resource to get rid of leaves, and so that's the one thing that we need to be finding more products from, whether it's salads for human, hemp leaf salad for human, or hemp leaf feed for livestock or animals. Again, worth looking into, and I think a great byproduct for some uh, livestock, no doubt about it. I'd like to get a hold of some hemp leaves at this point on a semi-regular basis to feed our chickens, because apparently that does great for them. I don't know how that would do with their egg production, but I would feel like it would help, because we're not going to eat them. We're not plumping them up to eat them. And we will probably start feeding them hemp seeds as well. So anyway, we'll see what happens, as these studies go on, and really the studies that can prove no adverse effects, like the one on goats that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Those are the ones that'll be used to convince the Department of Agriculture that these products are safe to be consumed by livestock, even if that livestock is going to be consumed by humans, because that's what they're really concerned about, one way or another. But it's amazing what you can feed livestock. Um, and they don't really care about how it affects humans in the long run. So that's just what that is. Anyway, um, sustainable packaging company DS Smith. Now I do believe they may be over in Europe more than here or anywhere. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into them, but they are going to add hemp to their material ingredients. We're starting to see some real big movement in the paper world, in the packaging world, to get not only hemp but renewable, sustainable resources. Remove the tree from the whole thing. Recycled paper is big. Hemp is now starting to be the talk, if not the move. Um, and so, we're going to see more and more of this, and this is the way it needs to go. And they're smart to do it. And so, thank you, DS Smith. You know, they're one of the largest, apparently, from the article, one of the largest packaging material companies making of packaging materials. Uh, and so, getting the hemp in there, even if it's 10%, they take out some bad thing, trees or whatever, 10%, and 10% of their material, is hemp right now. It would be great, one way or another, and then boosting that maybe and whatnot. So, but they're sustainable packing already, so They're supposed to be doing everything okay, and they're just going in a even better direction than they are now by, I think, adding hemp to their packaging. Um, so today is National Waffle Day. So I thought maybe I would show a pic of some hemp waffles. I think I do have. I think I did send you over the recipe
Hmm.
for the particular hemp waffles. So we'll put that up there and leave it up for a minute if you want to try to do a screenshot of it, or pause the show if you're watching later, and make yourself some hemp waffles, because I'm sure that they are. I think it's like a half a cup of hemp seed, one way or another.
Hmm.
Um, Again, you get that nutritional value. It's not too late to get out there and get those ingredients and have yourself waffles on Waffle Day, National Waffle Day. Hemp waffle seems like a great idea for that. That's for sure. I've had hemp waffles, which reminds me that we haven't had the hemp waffle pancake mix in a long time. Um, and probably should be getting that back on the shelves sooner than later, I hope,
Hmm.
uh, one way or another, so we can celebrate hemp or Waffle Day by eating hemp waffles. Um, Now, I think I also sent this over. This is the nutritional value of hemp milk that I came across on, and this is, I believe, a cup, one cup's worth of hemp milk has, and that's a lot. It's like, man, I'll go back and look and see. 130 calories, 4 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat, 20 grams of carbohydrates, 1 gram fiber, 15 grams of sugar. Um, and so now I do believe I saw that he may I used apricots, just a little bit of apricots. I should have went ahead and, because there was, I think, only 4 ingredients in the hemp milk that this particular nutritional value came from: hemp, water, maybe a little agave, and some apricots, actually. And basically, you just um, mix that up until it's kind of creamy, and that's your hemp milk. Easy peasy. No dairy required, since we don't require dairy as it is, you um, one way or another. So um, there you have it. There's not a whole lot of events going on. August 27th, 28th, this weekend is the 8th annual Blessing of the Hemp. Oh, this is up in Michigan. This is going to be really cool. They're going to be, I'm pretty sure they're going to be building with some hempcrete. This is in Saranac, Michigan. There's going to be a lot of hemp education um, going on. So if you're up in Michigan, or you want to travel to Michigan, go to the 8th annual Blessing of the Hemp, Saranac. I don't know if I guess I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know if I am or not. Saranac, one way or another. September 24th, you got Hemp in the Holler again down in Kentucky, Mount Vernon, at the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame and Museum. September 24th, you have the Hemp Hops Shrooms outdoor event in Carbondale, Illinois. That should be quite interesting, I suppose. Um, and that's about it for the events. Um, I usually close the show with Ask Beach Anything or Beach Thoughts. I don't have any questions. And again, all my thoughts were clearly placed throughout this episode of the High Noon Hemp Show, as they usually are. If you do have any hemp questions, feel free to shoot those over to us on Facebook at the Temptations Beach page. You can try emailing me at temptationsyahoo.com, things like that. And I will answer your question as quickly as I can, and then I will put it on the show and answer it for the show as well. So next Wednesday morning, for the record, I will be on the Brian Thomas Show, 8 a.m. locally. I
Nice.
believe that's, I should know, is that 700? That's 700, right?
I think
700
it's.
WSB.
I'm not sure.
Um,
Let me check real
I,
quick.
I should know that. Uh, I will be, they're going to have me on because they came across a study, I believe, on CBD and anxiety that they want me to come talk about. Um, I will, I'm going to bring some of the other studies that I've come across as well to enlighten some of the listeners on, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, he's on
Uh,
550
550, that's right.
KRC.
550 KRC, 8 a.m. next Wednesday morning, last day of the month. We're going to be sending out the month with the Brian Thomas Show and the High Noon Hemp Show all in one day.
That's right.
So,
Big day.
yeah, big day, big day. It was
Day.
supposed to be today. He decided to take the day off, which was okay with me.
Yeah,
That way I can give our viewers, our listeners, a chance to get up and start their morning listening to my voice.
that's right.
I'll try to have the most soothing, calming voice I can for everyone on the Brian Thomas Show because it is bright and early. See, this is high noon. I kind of get, I use my exciting radio voice. My little bit excited. Of course, I'm talking about hemp, so I can't hold my excited voice back when I talk about hemp. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So there you have it, folks. I appreciate you watching the High Noon Hemp Show. If you're watching now live or you're watching later unlive,
That's right.
pre-recorded on any one of our networks, or just listening to my voice on the podcast, maybe. We appreciate it one way or another. We hope you learned something about hemp. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having Hemptation.
See you all next week.